Ugrian Vampire by Noémi Szécsi. And as all you linguists and crossword fanatics will know, of course, this refers to the famous Finno-Ugric language group. But as a team, we actually selected this book not based on the title, not even based on the whole book, but we based it on one tantalizing chapter. The writing is so good that this was literary love at first sight for all of us. It's funny, it's fresh, it's witty, and it's clever. And of course, no literary event these days is complete without a vampire. It's due to be published in October 2012, but the very young and dynamic Stork Press, who nominated it, along with the Hungarian Culture Institute, are here tonight. So please welcome Hungary's very own Stephanie Meyer, the writer Noémi Szécsi. And we have a special guest as well, who's going to wait in the wings, literally to pounce. Do you know her? No, we don't know her. She's not with me. She's not with me either. Anyway, it's very, very nice to meet you. Every word I said about that one chapter was just, it's a wonderful, wonderful book. Now, you are ticking, as we say, the vampire box. These days. Do you love vampires? How did you write this book?
Well, actually, I don't really know if it was bad timing or pioneer spirit, because I wrote it before this vampire craze. Actually, it was written 12 years ago, actually, and it was published 10 years ago. It was the first piece of writing I ever did.
And which must be amazing for you now to see it being celebrated all this time later because of the translation.
So yeah, because but vampires always resurrect, so it is resurrected in English. So.
Well, I mean, and it's coming out in October, is that right?
Yeah,
it's coming out in October. Well, excellent. Now, we're going to talk about vampires a little bit more, but a little bit more about you as well, because this will be your first book published in English, so it's new for all of us. And and as you say, you have actually written quite a bit already. You've written 2002. This one was published in Hungarian. Then 2006, The Communist Monte Cristo, which actually won the European Union Prize for Literature, which is a historical novel. And last year,
Austria's writer.
We
received it.
Essentially, Paulus Hochstetter was also here tonight.
Yeah.
That's great. And then the one you've just published is called Restless. That's right. That's 20 minutes. So this is the first one to be published in English, which is great. Now these are all basically historical, aren't they? They're all history novels. Tell us about your interest in history, because each one is very, very different, but they're all basically a kind of creative reinterpretation of a historic period.
Yeah, actually, I always like to shock my fellow writers and my audience with the fact that I'm not really interested in literature. Actually, I like writing literature, and I like writing historical fiction. I like to write about society, political changes, and the most important thing for me was to write about the communist past of my country, and that was Communist Monte Cristo. It was about the history of communist ideology in Hungary from the point of view of a vegetarian butcher. Actually,
the main character is a vegetarian butcher.
Yeah,
that's shocking enough.
Yeah, it is meant to be funny, actually. And then Restless is about the immigrant community of Polish, German, Hungarian exiles in Europe in the 19th century. And it's a Gothic story, it's about table moving and things like that.
So, I mean, basically, you said it's funny. What you write is very funny, it is very witty. So you're writing satires, really?
Yeah. Actually, this one I wrote before I lost my sense of humor, because Restless is totally scary. That's
You know,
humorless.
It is interesting because I must say that for me, Hungarian literature doesn't have that association with being very funny. Will you throw things at me?
No, that's true.
And so
well, I'm not a typical representative of Hungarian literature.
well, vampires and the whole lot, obviously not. But I think the very interesting thing is that you actually studied Finnish and English. So this title has a serious side to it as well. Tell us about this particular book.
Yeah, actually, the first thing is that the original message of the book was totally lost in translation, in English translation, because it was the whole game was played based on the fact that Finno-Ugrian languages have no grammatical gender, like Finnish doesn't have and Hungarian doesn't have. And I wanted to play with the gender of the narrator, and in Hungarian I could do it. So in Hungarian it doesn't turn out if she's a woman or he's a man. But in English I have to say he's, her. Always I have to define the gender of the person who is in question.
So the main character is Jean. So this could be a man or a woman. But for us, as far as we were concerned, it was a woman.
Yeah, it was when it was translated into Polish, they had to decide if it is a man or a woman, and of course, because I am a woman, she is a woman too. Because
well, look, very quickly, the story it's an amazing story. I mean, we can tell it together a little bit, and then our vampire here is going to do a bit of a reading. She is there for a reason, I can guarantee. Now, it's about Hungary.
yeah,
it's about England as well.
Yeah. Actually, the narrator returns after school years spent in the UK to Budapest, and she wants to be a story writer, a fairy tale writer. Actually, she wants to write children's books, but there is a problem. She's from a very prestigious Budapest vampire dynasty, and her grandmother, who is a stunning woman of 2,035 years,
I thought she was 200.
wants her to be, of course, a vampire, and this is the main conflict.
It's a generational conflict about vampires. Yeah, absolutely. Who wins? Yes, well, that's it. So that's good. But it is using vampires is a bit of a metaphor as well, I should imagine.
Yeah, of course. Growing up in Hungary, you always faced with the fact that the most important metaphor to describe our history is blood sacrifice, or in Hungarian, for example, being a demagogue is like not ranting demagogue, but bloody-mouthed demagogue. So there are many interesting metaphors in connection with history in Hungarian language, and this is something I exploited in this story. And of course, some of them could live on in the English version, but some of them, of course, couldn't.
Well,